last week, some were under the impression that Trump was announcing what seemed like a promising plan to sell some pharmaceutical drugs directly to consumers through a government website. Now, here at TYT, honestly, we did suspect that there was some sort of catch or that Trump himself might be getting something out of it. And it turns out that we were right. We were right because the story has developed and we've got some more details. Before I get to the details, Cenk, did you suspect that maybe, the cover story here didn't make much sense?
A little bit, but honestly, like he has a good executive order on this, and I know the trick behind it, but I still couldn't help but have a little bit of hope.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm gonna be honest about that. And I thought maybe he's just doing it in a populist way to get some credibility, get some ratings up, etc. But no matter why he's doing it, I would have loved it. But instead we got this.
Well, the Wall Street Journal decided to dig in and see what's really transpiring with this plan. And so according to their report, a company tied to Trump's son stands to make a boatload of cash from this new endeavor.
Oh, come on, guys.
So just to refresh everyone's memory, here's what Trump had announced. So President Trump last Tuesday announced a deal with Pfizer to sell its drugs directly to consumers at discounted prices. They'll be available through a website operated by the federal government called trumprx.gov. He said similar deals with other drug makers are in the works. By the way, the middlemen are problematic, right? And tend to increase the price of pharmaceutical drugs, which are already outrageously priced because pharmaceutical companies like to price gouge Americans who fund the research and development of their drugs. But get a load of what's happening here. So this is part of what Trump says is a broader plan to lower pharmaceutical costs for Americans by bringing prices in line with what the prices are in other countries.
Which would be great.
Which would be great. I'm totally in favor of that. And I would love to give him credit if he actually accomplished that. But the Trump RX website is supposed to launch sometime next year, 2026. It would take users to pharmaceutical companies' direct-to-consumer websites to fulfill orders, which sounds like a decent idea. But the efficacy of the program is questionable. As it turns out, Trump's own family, as well as Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's family,
come on,
stand to profit from the Trump RX model. According to the Wall Street Journal, Donald Trump Jr. was recently installed as a board member at BlinkRx, which is an online prescription drug delivery company. And before being added to BlinkRx's board back in February, Trump Jr. became a partner with the investment firm 1789 Capital last November. The firm, which is co-hosting the December summit, led a $140 million funding round for BlinkRx in June 2024, according to a person familiar with the deal. So Trump's demand for pharmaceutical companies to sell their medicines directly to consumers could actually be a huge boon for the very company that his son is a board member of. This is kind of giving me Hunter Biden vibes. No. Right, like is Don Jr. an expert on pharmaceuticals?
Oh yeah, and later, by the way, he'll be doing finger art, I mean modern art. Okay, so guys, look, first of all, trumprx.gov, what are you doing? Why are you putting your own name on a government
I don't even
website?
Care about that.
Like, I know. Like it's tiny, but it's annoying. Like imagine if I was president, fun thought, and I'm like, okay, this is not gonna be americarx.org, it's gonna be jenkrx.org. It's so weird. It's weird. All right. So, but minor, as long as they do the right thing, who cares, right? And then you get to BlinkRx. What are we doing here, guys? This is supposed to be for the American people. The president is supposed to represent us.
That's cute.
I know. And the House of Representatives are supposed to be our representatives. When's the last time any of that happened? So it's one scam after another after another. It's so frustrating. Can you do one thing without trying to personally benefit from it?
No, apparently not. Now, BlinkRx helps drug makers do exactly that with a service that promises to set up direct-to-patient sales programs in as little as 3 weeks. TrumpRx would funnel patients to direct sale sites. So it's another effort in using the office of the presidency to enrich the president and his family. So days before the president announced the new TrumpRx website, a BlinkRx representative told one drug company that BlinkRx could be involved with running the site on behalf of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So is this actually evidence of a conflict of interest? We should be asking ourselves that. Well, Adam Fine, the president of a group that studies the pharmaceutical industry, says that BlinkRx is one of many companies in the marketplace that provide these kinds of services to manufacturers. What is different is Trump's son is on the board, meaning he stands to profit from this.
Yeah.
Trump Jr. said in a statement to the Wall Street Journal that their article amounted to an innuendo smear. Okay, well, are you serving on the board of BlinkRx or are you not?
And are you guys going to vie for that contract or are you not? Look, easy solve for this, and then we'll go back to supporting the program, fairest show in America, right? So BlinkRx should not get the contract. They have an obvious massive conflict of interest, right? So this reminds me of Halliburton, where Dick Cheney was like, oh, we invaded Iraq. Oh my God, I am going to give a multi-billion-dollar contract after multi-billion-dollar contract to Halliburton, the company that I used to be the CEO of and gave me a $34 million golden parachute. And by the way, there'll be no bid contracts while we're pretending to be in favor of the free marketing capitalism. Okay, and golly gee, it was just a coincidence. Now, the Trump folks were against the insider trading. They claimed to be against the insider trading that was going on in Congress. You know, the Stock Act was supposed to prevent that, etc. When the Democrats are in charge, they're like, oh, no way, no way. The Republicans are in charge now, they're like, no way. So, okay, you want to talk about insider trading, guys? It doesn't get any more insider than we're going to give a massive government contract to the president's son.
And Howard Lutnick.
And Howard Lutnick's family members, come on.
So let me get to that, because Howard Lutnick's kids are also positioned to profit from Trump's changes to the drug industry, including the tariffs he's threatening to put on imported pharmaceuticals. I'm sure that's gonna play out real well when it comes to affordability. So Cantor Fitzgerald, the financial services firm that was led by Lutnick until he joined the Trump administration, took a financial stake in a company that is trying to make money by investing in bringing pharmaceutical manufacturers to the United States. Earlier this year, Lutnick handed his ownership of Cantor Fitzgerald to trusts benefiting his adult children, and his two eldest sons were named chairman and executive vice chairman of the firm.
Well, that'll solve it.
Look, the corruption, the self-enrichment, all of that I think is pretty obvious, pretty clear. I just want to make a quick side note about how we should be manufacturing pharmaceutical drugs here in the United States. We should get that up and running before we start slapping on those massive tariffs. Okay, because those tariffs are going to make pharmaceutical drugs less affordable for Americans, even worse than what we're dealing with now.
Yeah, and we should also stop the pharmaceutical companies from robbing us blind. So as much as we've talked a lot about Israel taking way too much money off of America. Oh, big pharma is like, hold my beer, Netanyahu. Let me show you how this is done. So we're not allowed to negotiate drug prices. Again, when the Democrats are in power, all of a sudden they can't find a way to fix it. Republicans in power, all of a sudden they can't find a way to fix it. I can fix it for you tomorrow. You just end it. You get in front of the American people, and guess what? Over 80% of Americans, and if they actually knew the real facts, it would be nearly 100% of American people, are say, yeah, of course we should be able to negotiate drug prices. What does that even mean that we can't negotiate drug prices? That is the exact opposite of capitalism. Republicans hate it, Democrats hate it. The only people who love it are the people who are bribed by big pharma. And the liars in mainstream media who pretend that these folks aren't being bribed. They're being bribed. We all have eyes and ears. We can see it. That's why we get this nonstop nonsense. But actually tonight, when I do the show about crowdsourcing the peaceful revolution, tonight at 8 o'clock on the Young Turks, I'm gonna talk about how there is a bill in Congress that is supported by Republicans and Democrats, theoretically, that you could actually help to pass that would solve this exact problem. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.